Good morning, it's Friday morning and I've completed planking the cabin top of my 7 metre or 23 foot Sharpie I've designed. In this video I cover that process. I hope you enjoy the video. It looks like I've got enough Paulownia timber left over from the top sides when I decided not to use 12mm as I thought it was too thin. That turned out to be a good decision. It looks like I've got enough to plank the cabin top. And you can see two planks laying over there a bit. And I've had a good think about how I'm going to do the planking around the daggerboard case up there, because I've got to scallop out the centre plank and there'll be virtually nothing left of it, so that'll be difficult to deal with and keep it fair. So I'm going to join two planks on either side before I scallop it out, and then I'll be able to put a stiffening batten over the top of those two when I finally glue it into place. That's the plan at this time. This was a bit of a close call with this curve when I roughed it out when I was building the decks. I came very close to over trimming it, as you can clearly see by the line. So this is how I've basically bring it down to touch there, worked out this curve all the way around, same thing through to the center here, and tried to get it, of course, very similar on either side. But I'm fairly happy with how that's gonna turn out. Planking the deck is going really well. I'm putting a strip on and then going and doing something else, and then so it cures a bit and then adding another one. So hopefully I can go all day long like that. This end has turned out well. I really didn't know what to do with it for a little while, how to make it work out well, but taking this off here worked out really well. It makes a strong joint there. Not that the timber in this boat is necessarily the structural element, but the fact that I can just screw it onto there, there's no butt finish or anything like that, well there was in the middle, is going to work out really well. Once again, I'm joining the timber with epoxy fairing filler. So the reason for that is when I sand it off, the glue line is not a lot harder than the timber as with normal epoxy glue, and so it just makes it so much easier to fair up, and it's certainly proved to be strong enough. It won't break on the glue line. The planking is going really well. Yesterday I got 4 planks on either side, and I'm using a bit of a different method. I'm using a slow hardener so that I'll fit one plank and then a second one, and then I've just got enough time before it starts curing too much to go back and clean up the second one. This one doesn't disturb that join too much because it's still green, so I think I can get away once again, even though it's not yet the hottest part of the day, and putting on 2 planks at a time, and I'm really curious to see how many planks I can get on in a day. So I don't have too much of the extra slow hardener. It's probably not necessary to use that. Yesterday I started using the slow hardener, not the extra slow. So I've got my planks pretty much ready. I don't have enough planks. I need 11 planks either side. I've got some more preparation to do, but I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 planks. If I can get 7 planks on either side today, I'll be feeling I'm really making some progress. So it's well past 9 in the morning. Let's go. First of all, I fit the plank. Please excuse the mess in my workshop. It goes from tidy to mess faster than a heartbeat. So now I have to go inside to check the overlap is correct underneath. It's going to overlap this surface here, and eventually these will be made flush with the surface. I'll slide it down a little bit to make sure I've got enough overlap inside there. Now I just have to mark the other end and mark which side it is, which is the top. I pre-drill the holes, and I do them to this side of the plank because the plank is being twisted here after the last frame. For a while now, this is what I've been using to glue the Paulownia timber. I use it because it's easy to sand, it's absolutely strong enough, and because it's easy to sand, it doesn't leave high points where using normal glue did in the past. You might see here I use the pump and the scales because the pumps for the hardener fail really fast. There's something in it seems to, I don't know what happens, but it goes gluggy on the stem there, which is very hard to clean, and it becomes unreliable and not good to use. So generally I use the scales. One pump is 30 grams, and then I just put the hardener in manually, and it works really well, and it's kind of almost like a double check. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 today, 6 on each side, and this was a real fun one where it dives under the deck here and it's going to match this one, but it all went really well. Wow, what a view to wake up to. It's nice to get this before I head down to the shed and get back into working on the cabin. That's pretty good. Pretty much the only timber I've got left to finish off the cabin top. I've just put through the thicknesser, and that board down there is pretty much all that's left of my timber. So The rest I was going to do in foam, minus a bit of the interior. But there's only 4 boards, 4 planks, getting really short on the outside that I have left to do on the cabin. I'm not in the shed for half a day and look who's moved in. He's a monster. We call them wetters. See how big he is compared to my finger? You don't see them very often, but I think these are the biggest insects we have in New Zealand. I'm just going to leave him alone and see if he finds another place to get out of the way. It's mid-Friday morning. I set a goal of planking the cabin this week and I've achieved it. I just used some fast hardener this morning to do those last 2 planks on either side, and that went pretty good. Strangely enough, the last plank or 2 didn't go as well as the rest. It was a bit of a fight, but I'm pretty happy with the result. So what does it feel like to be inside the boat after the cabin's completed? I'm telling you, this feels really good. I'm enjoying sitting here looking around. I don't feel too confined. It's a trailer sailor, but I still feel like I've got plenty of room. I like the colours of the timber. That's worked out really well. As you can see, all these temporary frames got to come out, and once they're removed, that'll give more feeling of space inside here. I've got to do a lot of sanding, I've got to do a lot of filling, and some glassing upside down. I may achieve that in the next video, before the next video, we'll see. That's quite a big project. Well, I'll probably achieve doing either the outside or the inside, and I've got to do the outside first to give it some stiffness before I take these temporary frames out. But anyway, if you've made it this far, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Hold fast, tides